distance to run through that midfield.
Had some horror trips here, the Dockers. They kicked their lowest ever score here in their history a few years ago, 3 goals, 7. And that still stands as their worst score. And this afternoon they've been able to kick 9. Hayden inside 50 towards Pavlich, who can get himself a consolation prize. But unfortunately they just didn't have the goal kickers early enough in the game when it counted.
Well, he's had a great battle, hasn't he, with Matty Egan. Matty Egan's held his own in the one-on-ones, body strength-wise, which Pavlich needs. Once he gets on the lead, that's where he's a very dangerous player. You got a question about Fremantle is they do lack a bit of leg speed in the middle like Geelong used to. Geelong have brought in a couple of players, but now if you get all that possession, it means you're pretty well downhill skier a lot of times and haven't got a defensive mindset.
Well, 3 goals will look okay in the paper tomorrow. That's what he's got, Matthew Pavlich, but the Dockers will still go down.
They haven't had too many winners this afternoon, and I wouldn't even say Pavlich, as much as he's worked really hard, he hasn't had a clear win over Matt Egan. Or as you say, Dwayne, 3 goals is still a good result from a key forward on a windy day like this. But I think one-on-one Egan's been terrific this afternoon. Oh, they were too one-dimensional for mine, Fremantle. If it's not Pavlich, it's really nobody at the moment.
Had a horror trip to Geelong, did the Dockers. Their plane was delayed 3 hours at Perth Airport, and their bus to Geelong broke down. They got hire cars. They got here midnight Thursday. It's been an ugly road trip, this one. Enright thumps the Cats back inside 50. Grover, who's been very solid, takes it out of play.
You're not making excuses for him, Dwayne.
I'm just letting everybody know that.
Come on.
The thing with Fremantle is they finished top 4 last year. A lot of good judges, or so-called good judges, thought they'd finish top 4 again. They're not playing anywhere near like a side that really even deserves to be in the 8 at the moment.
Otten's in the ruck, trying to get a handball out. And we can overreact to 1 or 2 weeks of good form or bad form in this beautiful game of ours, but we are now over a third of the way through the season, so you can start to make some reasonable assessments as to who the contenders are and who they aren't.
No, I totally agree. The Cats have stepped up, and there's no question there.
Big thump to the goal square. Varco! Into the post.
So I reckon the Cats have addressed their problems in a lot of ways. They've actually gone out and they've put speed into the side. They've mixed it up. They've gone and got tall forwards. Fremantle seem same old. At the moment, they seem very one-dimensional. They've got a very slow midfield. They've got a one-dimensional forward line at the moment, and no one's really prepared to back themselves. And we know they're better than that, or they can be better than that.
Wachinski, speaking of adding speed to their lineup, 18 possessions this afternoon for David Wachinski. And
talk about speed. And a bit of excitement there. Just one thing about Fremantle, is another bad bounce by the umpire. You have to recall those.
It's interesting, there was a game before this one played here today. We've had a bit of rain in Geelong last couple of days, and we did chop the turf up a little. The VFL game played before this one. The umpires have decided a couple of times to throw it up. Dodd, short to Bell.
But when you bounce it and you cannot allow an equal contest or a fairly equal contest, that means you do have to recall it. It doesn't matter if it's wet ground or dry ground. Bad bounces are bad, well, like bad football.
Pavlich can't get a fly at this one. Well, they are allowed to throw it up if they believe that that's the common sense thing to do.
Oh, here they go.
Bartel and McManus, who...
So sure, that was a smart move.
No.
Too sure what there is that McManus could teach Jimmy Bartel right now. Sandlin's in the ruck. He was trying to lay down the law to him in some form.
Oh, he's miserable, Darren Milburn, isn't he?
He is.
Wouldn't Jimmy Bartel just stand up and go, are you looking at that scoreboard? I think it's saying something. Just one thing about Fremantle, when you talk, they have been belted at the contest, and I don't care about stats. The bodies have beat Geelong. They are playing like desperate players. The only player who gets to a physical level week in, week out for Fremantle, and I think probably shouldn't have been drafted, is Dean Solomon. And he does it sometimes in an undisciplined manner. Now, that says something about your club. You know, I can't see anybody who's got a kamikaze attitude about how they attack the ball, and it's shown out today.
Well, I think it's the obvious part of this has been we've really noticed Peter Bell's input in this last quarter.
Exactly.
It stood out. It really has stood out. And where else has been the effort across the ground?
Now, Peter Bell's 5'0", and a champion player, but gee, where are some of the bigger blokes to show some physicality in the right manner?
Milburn, Dax Dodd, Corey, dragged down by the man you were talking about, Dean Solomon. Strong tackle.
Solomon, 14 possessions, 11 possessions I should say. He's had a few good tackles as well. He's used the ball pretty well today actually, Dean Solomon.
Pavlich from 4 deep, can't bring it down. Toes it away from a few. McManus with Chinsky. Crowley, David Johnson, McManus's man. Bartell, and McManus drags him down after the event and pushes his head into the Skilled Stadium turf. That won't bother Jimmy at all. He loves the taste of it.
They'll kick the space here. They've got an open forward line if they get it in quick.
Still on behind play. He's a tough nap from a local Bell Park club. Here's Jimmy Bartell. He won't mind a little bit of that. He's probably leading the race for the Brownlow right now. Mooney. Selwood knocked it toward the boundary. Will get a ball in.
Are they the real deal, Tony Shaw? You laughed at me on AFL Teams the other night when I said they'd beat West Coast Geelong.
Well, look, they have. They've got a long way to go, though, Liam. A long way to go. We have seen it too often when this club's been in form like this, where they can just fall back. But I think the added speed has helped them now. And you're right, they've had a look at themselves. Now, this opposition side's got to have a good look at themselves, where they are in the football world. Because they're a laughing stock at the moment. Geelong's been through that.
They have. Kelly all the way back to Scarlett. In some ways, the Cats can't actually win anything until the finals this year. It's only in the finals that they can actually prove anything to anybody, but they're taking the right steps.
I'll tell you one important player, David Wojcinski, and that not just about speed. I always thought I've rated David Wojcinski, and a lot of people at Geelong haven't, but great win to the Cats, they deserved it.
And in the end, 4 goals is pretty flattering, I reckon, for Fremantle.
No doubt.
25-point victory to the Cats at home against the Dockers. They led for most of the afternoon. 16 points at quarter time. Opened it up to 29 points at half time, but it was their 6-3 first quarter. That was able to give them the confidence to go on with it. Des Headland and Matthew Stokes. Cameron Ling, another sensational performance from him. 28 possession afternoon for Cameron Ling, the young and the old.